Good afternoon everyone, it's Rachel here with Roxy's Journal of Stitchery number 7, and we are talking about the project. So Sarah will have it, you need to pop over to Sarah's video if you haven't watched it first, because she's going to explain how the project works. Some of you are going to freak out because it's not something usual. But it's something that Sass and I really wanted to do, and I have a space on my wall that I need to put something up on, and I was wanting to buy a painting, but they are so expensive, and the ones that I like are in the US and in Australia, and then I'd have to pay an exorbitant amounts of duty. So I thought I would attempt something in textile, and one of my best friends who came over this year, she said she didn't understand why I didn't have more textile stuff up on my walls. So, and she's very good at interior decorating. Anyway, I digress. So, anyway, Sarah will have, I think she will have suggested options for those of you who are daunted by the prospects of doing something big. I'm doing something big and I'm very scared about it, but I'm going to give it a go. So my piece is going to be 1 meter by 1 meter. For the Americans, 1 meter, I don't know how many yards, it's a bit more than a yard. So 1 yard is 91 centimeters approximately, and 1 meter is 100 centimeters. So about that much more than a yard. Square, I'm doing it square. Steffi and I had a debate about it because he wanted it to be vertical rectangle, and I said I'm not doing a tablescape still life on a vertical one. That would be really tough for me. So we compromised and I'm doing it square. I have bought a frame. I didn't buy a canvas because I struggled to find one in the size that I wanted. I'm sure they exist. And the ones that I was finding were like 80 euro, 90 euro, 100 and something euro because they're very big. So what I found was I just bought the artist wooden frame where they then would stretch their own canvas over the top. So I just bought the frame. My frame is 1 meter by 1 meter, and so it has no canvas on it. So I'm going to work on blanket because it's beautiful to stitch through, and I figure the blanket's a bit like having canvas, and I'm going to make my top layer overhang quite a lot. Maybe, I don't know, I'll have to work it out, probably at least the frame is probably 2 centimeters or 3 centimeters deep, and then you have to have enough to go around the back. So yeah, I'll be adding quite a lot around the edges that will be waste. It'll be, you know, cut off when I put it onto the frame, if I put it onto the frame, because it could be gross and not be any good at all. So my job today is, Sarah's told you how it's going to work. Should have made suggestions about different ideas. If you don't want to do something big, you could do a series of small ones, and each different prompt can be for, you know, like a small one, one prompt on each small one. You can make it into a book if you don't want to do something for the wall. You can really make it into whatever you want, as long as you follow along the prompts. So just a reminder to any newbies, this is a YouTube project. It started as a YouTube project. The Facebook group came afterwards as people asked if we could open a Facebook page, just so people can share and ask questions and that sort of thing. You won't get a list of prompts. The prompts are in the videos, and the videos that where there is a new prompt, it says prompt reveal in the title. So you just have to watch the first amount of seconds and you'll get the prompt. It's not like you have to sit there for an hour and we tell you at the prompt at the end of the video. So don't be expecting a list of prompts, because that is not what our series is about. Well, the prompts are, but it's not about giving lists for people to do. You have to follow along on YouTube and then you get your prompts. Right. So as I said, on my substrate, my base is going to be blanket. I've already cut this a bit bigger than 1 meter because I figure it will, I only added like a centimeter or two on around each side, but no, probably in total, because I figure it might shrink a little bit, but it doesn't really matter because I'm going to have overhanging. So then on my base, on this, I'm going to be using probably things like this. Things like this. So ticking old tea towels. I may use a bit of textural sort of stuff. I've only got little bits and pieces here because I don't even know if I'm going to use these. These may find their way into it, this sort of thing. Just things like that, because remember, when someone is painting, they create quite a bit of texture quite often, and so I want my textiles to create the texture in the background. Let's just keep going with these types of fabrics. This sort of thing. Probably some linens. I didn't bring those in. I forgot about those. I've got some linens with just neutral linens with stripes. I think that's the correct way. I could use something like that. Could be gorgeous. You could put, oh, cool. No, ideas are coming to me now. You know, you can put a color behind, sort of thing. I don't know. This is a damask. It's an old piece. I've washed it, but it's still dirty. Just some hemps. These are more like going to be like my backgroundy sort of tableclothy background. I may do some fabric weaving. I don't know. I got this beautiful damasky, beautiful thing in France. I could use some of that. Here's some more ticking, mattress ticking. I might use something like that. I don't know. This. And then I also thought I may include lace, but I'm not going to include the long laces, like the crochet long laces, or the, it's tombolone Italian, I don't know what it is. I might include this type of thing, that sort of thing, to create a bit of texture, or at the most, this, it's very thin. I could use bits and pieces of something like that. Another thing that popped into my mind that is a possibility, I don't know if I'll use it. I have this tapestry. I don't particularly care for the front. I bought it because when I did Fleur's online course, Fleur Woods, she talked about using them on the reverse side. I did think this could be cool for something because it looks like paint to me. So I thought that could be cool. So I'm going through my materials, and then I'm going to show you a few artists. Sarah's already created a board, but it's still private, but I'm not sure if she'll make it public or not. But you need to go and look for some artists that you like to give you some inspiration. But this is an idea to get some of those painterly sort of straight feeling. The next thing I'm going to also be using are embroideries. I'm going to be cutting those out if we do like a vase with flowers in, which of course we will because we love flowers. I'm going to be cutting out embroideries. They're just a few, but I have more. And then also floral fabrics. So the Sanderson fabrics are fabulous if you can get your hands on some of those. I think this might be, but cutting out these, cutting out the leaves. I thought, you know, something like that's nice. I'm thinking in my background. I'd love that. Just pretend like that was a wallpaper or something. That flower I could use somewhere. So, you know, you've just got to look at your fabrics in a different way. I forgot to show you those in my these sorts of things as well. I'll probably be using. And I've only brought in a few fabrics here. But, you know, anything. Like, look at that. I mean, that could go on my background. That could be my background. That could be my wall. I've got to, let's be like a wallpaper sort of thing. And then I have, this is a Sanderson. Cut out the flowers. All these flowers are wonderful. I've got other ones, but these were the ones that were at hand. So just anything with flowers. Then I have this one here. Most of these are like decor sort of things, but lots of different little things that I can cut out in them. And then this is quite an old one. I don't know if I'll use it or not, but look at that right there. So pretty. And that's so pretty. So any kind of botanical fabrics are going to be really, really good for this. And then, of course, all your threads. I'm going to be using all the threads, all the different types of threads, the wools, the DMCs, the 6-stranded, the perlé, you name it, I'll be using it. Okay, so let's get to our inspiration. Sarah will have showed you some books that do beautiful textile pictures like Mandy Patullo. I've got my iPad here. I couldn't open it before. Let's see, Pinterest. Here we go. So this is the board that's not public at the moment, but it might become public. And so what I'm going to be doing, I'm not going to copy anybody because that's not cool, but I'm going to, because I'm not a painter and composition is really scary, I'm going to be looking at people's still life. Now that one's particularly interesting to me because that's square already. So I'm just going to be looking at it to see where am I going to position things. So that's what's going to be of interest to me, is the positioning of things. So these are just a few. Sarah's saved most of those. So we're doing our tablescapes. So, I mean, it can be quite two-dimensional. That's quite two-dimensional. Or it can be, that one is sort of, well, they're all two-dimensional, of course, but that one's sort of giving you an idea with things going towards the background. And then this one's great. This one's done, I can see it's been done with paper collage and painting, but the texture. So we can create the texture with and this is great for pattern. You can create the texture with the fabric. These are examples of little ones. And here's another lovely one. So just showing you a few ideas. Was that a Wendy Bright girl? I think it might be. It looks like her. This Elizabeth Endress does some lovely still lifes. Oh, and this is one of my favorites. I wanted to buy one of her paintings. It was $7,000 US. I was like, can't afford that. So this is Sky Hoyt in the US, and I love the look of that, and that gives me ideas. And she does use a bit of fabric in her painting, and then she paints over the top. And I just think they're really fun, and I like how she does her composition. Here's one with examples, like that's painted vases, but you could use like a toile to get that kind of look, or you can embroider it. So this is Sky Hoyt again. It's very distinctive style, but I think her work is very, very inspiring for what we're going to do. But of course, well, you can't copy it. It's her work, so you can't copy it. But you can look for ideas. Look at that for composition. How wonderful is that? And you can bunch up your fabric and have it draping over, and yeah, it's so cool. It's gonna. I'm very excited about it. Look. I know some of you will be freaking out. I'm freaking out. It's pretty scary, but you know what? It's just for us. It's not like I'm selling it or anything. It's just for me. So just flicking through here what's already in the board. But you go ahead and find some artists, still life artists that you like. Oh, August Wren, I love her. That's Sky Hoyt again. But go and find one that you like. I think that might be it. Yeah, go and find, what have I done? Go and find one that you like, and then we've only just saved a few things for now. Here's some more. And then be inspired. I mean, look at that for a composition. That's wonderful. So anyway, I'll just scroll down a little bit. That's Wendy Brightbill. Yeah, so just look for one and then find more ideas. Click on that and then more ideas will come up. All kinds of things. That's not a tablescape. And then, yeah, Sarah will have mentioned, like you're not going to know what the prompts are. You can imagine what they're going to be, mostly. No, there's multitude of things that we can say, but and you won't know the timing. But just have an idea in your head of the different options of where to put things, and also pay attention to where we might be putting things, although I might get it wrong. But yeah, just know that, like if I'm placing something over here, there's going to be other things in the foreground coming, sort of thing. If I'm placing it sort of mid, third way up, then I'm leaving space for other stuff, sort of thing. So I'm going to start at the back and work my way to the front, sort of thing. I think so. Yeah, so I'm very, very excited about it. I'm curious to see how we all handle it. and what we all come up with. You know, mum's daunted by it, but I mean, she'll be fabulous at it. But we recommended that she do maybe work on a, you know, slightly smaller scale. You know, you don't have to do a meter by a meter. You can do 50 centimeters by 50 centimeters and do the whole thing in that. When I'm saying, I'm not saying you can do like individual mini ones, or you could work on half the size what I'm working on. It's very ambitious of me. And then just make it all smaller, and it will be more doable. But yeah, there's the prompts, as Sarah mentioned, are not going to be equally spaced. They're not going to be evenly spaced, because there are some parts that one's great. There are some that's outside. There's some parts that we're going to need to what's the word? I can't think. Work a bit longer on it. Oh, I was just thinking, because there's another lady that I love in the US. Her name is Sandy. Some of you may follow her on YouTube. She's wonderful. I'm going to buy some of her courses. Not that I ever have time to paint. She does some tablescapes. Let me just see if there's anything here on Pinterest. But again, I'm not saying to copy. I'm saying to get inspiration for placement. Oh, there's a vertical one. Or is that square? See, I like that. Really, really rustic. And yours could be like that. Like she's giving you the idea of it, but there's not enormous. Some people are more detailed painters. Some are more sort of not full of detail, but just beautiful, glorious colors. I just love that. I'll have to find that one again and save it. She's great. And look at her birds. Let's get sidetracked and talk about her birds. There are some. She has some great tablescapes as well. This was one in, I think it's in her sketchbook. That's in her sketchbook. But yeah, I really, really like her. Sandy Hester. Here's another one. So check her out as well. Oh, and that's that lady. Let me just find on my Instagram. Sorry, I just have to go off camera for a minute. On Instagram, there's another lady I really like. She's in Australia. Why can I not get to my page? Oh, it's over there. It's just not working. Oh, saved. Okay, I'll tell you her name in a second. Just hold your horses. No, not there. Paintings. I've got lots of, what's her name? Hoyt. Saved. I've forgotten her name again. This lady. This is an Australian artist. Kate A. Maddie. Have a look. I'll show you. Kate Maddie is her. I think she's in Australia, because I saw it. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And I can see those bits as being lace. You know, bits like that of lace. It just gives you ideas to see some. And I like the composition of the flowers. I don't know whether I'll be able to achieve it with fabric. Remember, we're working with fabric, so we're not painting. So it's obviously not going. And that one, I love all the texture. That reminds me of fabric. We're not painting, so we're not going to be able to do exactly, something like that. But we can be inspired by it, I hope. Yeah, so she's a wonderful, wonderful artist. Let me see if there's anyone else in here that I might mention. I think, who's that one? Christina Loves Flowers. That's a lovely composition as well. More precise, more cleaner lines is what I want to say on her paintings. But that's still an interesting tablescape to be inspired by. So I should save that one. So I have little folders on Pinterest, and I just save them. I love that one. Look at that. And that reminds me, that could be some sort of fabric behind. And then that can be one of these. Not to copy her, but I'm just saying, like, you can use your fabric. You can adapt, things to your fabrics, and you can do fabric weaving. So lots of places to find inspiration. So we hope that you are excited about it. We are. And if you're not, you might have to sit this one out. That's okay too. Or maybe you haven't done one of the older projects and you can go back and do that if you still want to be doing something. I'm just showing you some other paintings in here. Oh, these are all, I better remember what her name is. Sky Hoyt. I was going to say Sue Hoyt, but it's not. It's Sky. I better get her name right because I like her. Yeah, just really, really beautiful stuff. So there we go. So hopefully you'll join us. The hashtag stays the same. The Facebook group is still the same. Everybody is welcome to join in, and we will be doing our first prompt reveal on the first Wednesday of January. So have a wonderful Christmas. Thank you so much for following along and joining us and sharing all your beautiful work. And we will see you on the other side. Bye.